Good afternoon to the class of 2019, to the faculty, family, friends, and siblings here simply because they have to be. I'm sorry, Brian. My name is Dana Yuen, and it's an honor to speak today on such a special occasion. Although, before we get started, I want to see where everybody's at. First, where are all of my fellow mechanical engineers? Okay, how about electrical engineers? Okay, chemical engineers? What about you computer engineers? And finally, computer science. Yeah. Do you guys remember the last time we were all in this field together? It was our freshman convocation, and the chancellor had just made that Taylor Swift reference about us having bad blood if we didn't call our parents weekly. Parents out there, raise your hand if your students actually called you on a regular basis. That looks about right. Regardless of if we actually checked in with you, I hope all of you out there know that we would not be getting ready to walk across the stage without you. Also, thank you, Mom, for raising your hand, even though I know I didn't call you nearly enough. Let's move on to second year. No more DLG late night or fire alarms because our floor mates set the microwave to 30 minutes instead of 3. Living on our own and the beginnings of long weekends at the library. It felt like we had finally figured things out and found our stride. Unless you took the ECE 10 series, in which case it was less of a stride and more of a crawl to get to the end of second year. And then third year happened, the time in our lives that we would all love to forget, but can't because the struggle is what brought us all together. I'm sorry, professors, but although you taught us so much, I'm still not so sure the journey there was worth it. Of course, I'm kidding, but really, we're so lucky to have had such outstanding professors here at UCSB, and we'll forever be grateful to you and the tolerance to caffeine and lack of sleep you helped us build. Finally, senior year, in which late nights stressing at the CAD lab or Cecil became replaced with existential crises about leaving this paradise and entering the real world. Now, before I finish up with all the sappy, sentimental, inspiring things one is supposed to say in a commencement speech, I want to address something that we've all dealt with or denied or hidden: imposter syndrome. You know, the feeling when you felt like you just didn't belong at UCSB because you got an 11% on a fluids midterm. That was me. Still graduating. Or cried late at night in engineering 2 because you just didn't think you could do it anymore. The feeling when you looked around at all of your friends and thought, what am I doing? It's rough to be surrounded by so many people who seem to have it all together. But that's just it. None of us have it all together. It may seem like the person sitting next to you has it all figured out, but I bet they're thinking the same thing about you. So don't compare yourselves to others when you enter the real world. Look back on who you were and be proud of how far you've come. To paraphrase Prof. JMO from my first day of freshman year, no one here wants you to fail. We all want to see you succeed, so please ask for help when you need it. So wholesome, right? But remember, this is coming from the guy who wore his shirt backwards with a pocket on his back for half of class at one time. Anyways, I digress. On to the sappy stuff. As much as I look forward to this day, I've always disliked endings. Last day of summer, the final chapter of a great book, parting ways with a close friend. But endings are inevitable, and today is one of those days for us. Today we say goodbye to our home for the last 4 years. Today we say goodbye to Bagel Cafe, Bill's Bus, and living a 5-minute bike ride away from all of our friends. We're moving on. Whether you'll be heading off into industry or grad school or figuring things out along the way, I know that we'll all go on to do great things. But just because we're leaving and that hurts, there's some people who are so much a part of us that they'll be with us no matter what. As I look out across this crowd, I see not only some of the smartest people I know, but some of the kindest, funniest, and most wonderful friends I'll ever know. And I hope we'll all cross paths again sometime soon. Congratulations, class of 2019.